Is this thing on? Oh, hello and welcome to Helen Kitty Cat Crafts. What do I do? Well, I do slow stitching, dolls' houses, fabric art, miniatures, dioramas, all sorts of things. But mainly I just play because I don't want to grow up. Stick around and see what we do. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Cats. Oh yes, we do cats too. Welcome. Hello. How are you? If you remember, in our last video, we've just finished painting the roof. And this is DIY My Chateau part 23, I believe. Gosh. So how has your week been? We've had a bit of a mixed weekend here. We spent all day Saturday in A&E because my friend decided to part company with his motorbike. But we did manage to get to Costa Coffee and have a yummy latte and a panini. So let's carry on where we left off. So here we are, adding some colour to the boards on the tower. Now these, I can't remember if I told you, are lollipop sticks or popsicle sticks, depending on which country you're in. And I've just trimmed them down and glued them to the tower because I wanted something different from the brickwork. I'm just putting the undercoat on for the wooden decor edging. Again, that's made from lollipop sticks. And then I thought, oh, I might just add the final coat of glitz and glamour to my front entryway. So I'm just dry brushing on some metallic gold paint, just so that it gets the top bits but not the bottom bits, because I don't want it all gold. And so I'm just putting the paint on, taking as much off as I can, and then just very lightly passing the brush over the top. I do love this paint. It has got an absolutely wonderful glitter shimmer to it. It really is beautiful paint. It's quite expensive. I think I paid something like £10 for just that little pot, but you actually need very, very little. But yeah, it really is amazing. It shines and stands out so beautifully. I was going to gold leaf these, but I actually thought it might look neater dry brushed with some paint, so that's what I've done. It's the same paint that I've used on the front door there and on the pillar, and as you can see, it's really rich. And I've put a new doorstep in too, so we've now got a granite effect doorstep, which is the Fimo Air granite, and I'm really happy with that. And once it's all done, I will add some varnish to protect it. And now I am wanting to make some more decoration for the tops of the windows that we've just put in the roof. Do you remember? We've got 2 dormer windows and then a window in the tower. And the panels at the top are looking a little bit bare, even though they're painted. So I'm going to put some nice little decorative swirls in there. So we've gone through the silicone moulds and picked one that we think looks best. and is the appropriate size. These silicone moulds are really, really good. I quite like them. And sometimes I use plaster of Paris, but sometimes it's just as easy to use air dry clay. So again, with the Fimo Air, sprinkling a little bit of talcum powder into the mould just because it's easier to get the air dry clay out. You can use a little bit of baby oil or probably even olive oil if you wanted to, linseed oil. Only needs a very light coating, but I find talcum powder is inexpensive and works just as well. So let's get on with some clay. We'll squidge that in there. Very cool. You can see that I've been getting messy yet again. Me and mess, hand in hand. So here we go. Let's take that bit off. Very carefully, she says, separating the clay from the mould. Oh, it's looking good. Yay! Perfect. I like that. So what we need to do now is to cut down the excess that we don't want, because once it's dry it's really difficult. You can sand it, but there's quite a lot to take off this. So if you do it while it is still wet and soft, you can roll it up in a ball and then that'll make your next one. So, you know, reducing the waste. So I've just got a box cutter and I'm just going to go around the edges, because we can neaten it up with a quick sand later if need be. Just have to be careful because obviously it's fresh out of the mould and it is quite soft, so it will tear quite easily, but it'll also stretch. So I'm going to paint once they're dry obviously, I'm going to paint these the same colour as I've painted the woodwork on the roof, the grey colour. But then I think I'm going to add some dry brush some gold onto them like I have the one above the front door, because I just think it'll look sweet. Carefully cutting around there. I hope you've all had a great week anyway, and I hope you've all managed to find some chill time over this week and weekend. Finding chill time is so important. Just to take a few minutes out just to catch your breath and enjoy yourselves. We all need to reboot sometimes. And how pretty is that? I like that. I'm very happy with that. So while they're drying, let's not waste any time. So I am going to make a pretty window or a pretty window pane to go into the window space that is in the tower. So this is just Pebeo, BBO, whichever way you pronounce it, acrylic gold. Again, it's a favourite of mine, this. It gives a really nice effect. So I've got the acetate, and the black line is to mark out the size of the window that I need. And I've chosen this design, which is actually a bit of scrapbook paper that I use for journaling. And I'm just going to pick up bits here and there, not everything. I'm just going to pick it up with the gold and just make it look a little bit more fancy, because it's the window in the tower, so I want it to stand out a little. And also, I have an idea about maybe putting lights into the tower, and I just think it'll look really cool if I can manage to do that. So these are triple O brushes. I've actually just ordered some new ones to try as well, and I go through brushes so fast. I'd probably be better if I actually looked after them a little better. It's my own fault. But yeah, I do like to have lots of different brushes, but for something like this, you really need a triple O, or even a 4O or 5O, because it's obviously quite thin, intricate lines. But I do a fair amount of miniature painting as well, so of figures and buildings and things. So I need a lot of fine brushes, and I don't like mixing brushes. So if I use a brush for watercolor, then I don't use that brush for acrylics, and I don't use it for the acrylics brush for varnishing or anything like that. I like to have separate brushes for each different media, just because that's the way I like to do things. I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's the way I like to do it. So yeah, hopefully my new brushes will be here, because I actually think this is possibly the last triple O brush that I've got. Yeah, I've been busy doing bits here and there, you see. So I quite like these ones that have got the chunky handles on as well, as I have some issues with my hands. I can get a good grip on these. Sometimes the smaller, thinner ones I find quite hard if I'm painting for more than a couple of minutes. So I picked all the pattern out that I wanted, and now I am going to add a bit of colour. Now I've just put a simple harlequin design on there because I don't want anything too fancy. It's about adding colour for light to shine through rather than anything else. But I feel a very decadent, expensive chateau, or person that would own this chateau would demand some sort of fancy window in what will be their master bedroom. And this is where the tower is, you see. So I've chosen beautiful red, metallic red from Deco Art, and I love Deco Art paint. I really do. All these little bottles, and you can get metallics, you can get ordinary acrylics, you can get different paint effects, and they really are stunning paints. And this red, obviously it doesn't look very vibrant on here because it's on acetate, but if you put it on paper and card, it really is such a rich colour. And then the purple which I'm nearly running out of. I've used so much. And a little bit of green. Now I'm going to have to get some more of this green because December's coming up and I used a lot of this green last Christmas and it is one of my favourites. Again, it's a deco art one. These bottles vary so much in price depending on demand, I suppose. Not sure really, to be honest, but I've seen them priced anywhere between £2 and £8 for a tiny little bottle. It's like 2 fluid ounces or something like that. But they are, in my opinion, worth buying. They're beautifully rich, beautifully pigmented, especially the metallics. In fact, I would say the Deco Art and the Pebeo are the best acrylics that I've found for what I use them for. Just for general purpose, you know, will go on anything almost. So, what do you think? Do you like it? I think it'll look quite cool. I mean, I'll have to wait till it dries, and I'll probably need to protect it, so I may put another sheet of acetate over the top of the paint. Excuse me, yawning away. Yeah, it's not all about being perfect and being neat, and it's it's all about the colour. A little bit of red up there, I think. I do love this red. It just adds a very subtle, on the acetate, it adds a very subtle colour. You can see how bright it is. I can't remember the actual colour, the colour name. No, Rue. I don't know. I can't even see the bottle properly. No, it's definitely red. If you can hear a noise rattling in the background, it's one of my cats playing with the handle on my box that I've got some of my fabric in. She sat banging the handle against the bucket. Oh gosh, she's here again. Hello. Well, I am kind of busy, but yes, of course I'll scratch your ear just for you. Is that better? Yes? Oh, I know. It's shocking, isn't it? Yeah, you just wanted to inspect, did you? And here's the culprit, Lola. So, yeah, I'm just going to keep adding a little bit of red here, a little bit of red there. But I'm quite pleased with how this has turned out. I'm now being stared at by said cat. And there we go. Okay. Maybe just a little touch down here. A little touch down there, maybe. Yep, maybe just there. Of course, when this video, by the time this video is all edited and out, it will be Monday, which is, of course, is the start of a new week. And Janet Nash is live. Do you go to follow Janet Nash? Janet Nash UK. She has a live on a Monday, 2 till 4, English summertime. I'm not quite sure what time that is internationally, but I'm sure you probably have better idea than me. But yeah, she welcomes everybody. I'm sure she'd love to see you popping along. Not quite sure what she's doing today. It's always a bit of a surprise, but always a treat. Oops, moved the acetate. Now put it back. There. Almost finished, I think. I don't want to go too much over the top. But then this whole chateau is a bit OTT, really. I just actually, I saw as I was scrolling on the internet some pillars that you use, you know, like on wedding cakes and things for different tiers. And I thought, oh wow, they would look brilliantly painted up in my chateau. So I will show them once they arrive. But I'm thinking maybe in the hallway, one either side of the hallway would look absolutely fantastic. Obviously I would paint it up. And yeah, I saw them as I was flicking through and I thought, I'm having those. So let's hope A, that they are the right size and they don't look too out of place, and B, that they get here quickly. So, because I'm impatient. So let's see. When they get here, I'll give you a quick viewing before I decide to paint them up. Sorry about all the banging in the background if you can hear it. My son is obviously looking for something that he can't find. Gosh. Now you know why I only do voiceovers and not live or record as I record. Because my house is never quiet. So anyway, now these are nice and dry. We're going to add some nice sparkly gold to the high points. They have had a coat of the grey paint, and that dries off very, very quickly on clay. And so we're just adding touches of gold, and then they can dry overnight, and then I can attach them to the window. And I may actually get this roof finished. Once I've got the roof finished, I can then go back to finishing the garden that I started. Do you remember that? A couple of videos back. I left it to dry, left everything to dry. Well, it's definitely dry now. It's been sat over a week. I will get round to finishing it and actually getting it in place. And I've got the roof to put on and a few bits to touch up on the exterior, and then I might be able to actually start on the interior, which I can't wait for. I've got so many plans. Oh, and then of course I've got my other house just to work on as well. I'm currently waiting for another set of lights to come on the hickory house, the grandfather clock house. I'm just waiting for some lights to arrive for that, because and also some wire, because I need to rewire a couple of the lights because they're just not working. So I need the wire to come through and the lights, and then I can go back and do that again. Once it's up and running, I'm sure I will share that with you, and probably my excitement. And I've still got the haunted house to paint, and I still got the old magic shop to decide how I'm going to do that, because I planned what it was and I planned what I wanted to put in it, and I made it, and then kind of got sidetracked and didn't do a lot more planning. So I'm going to have to put some thought into that one. Yeah. And then of course I've got the I want to do a tiny miniature diorama with fairies, and I want to do another one with Dickens Victorian London, so kind of Christmas Carol themed, because Christmas Carol is my favourite book. I have got some figures on order for that, and also a horse-drawn carriage. Again, hopefully they won't take too long to arrive. So then I can start putting designs and buildings together for that, and hopefully they won't take too long. But I've not put a time limit on any of my creations, because that's not me. I did manage to do a little bit of sewing this week too. I've done a little bit more work on my a year snippet roll project, where I've been doing one or two birth flowers, and for each calendar month there is a playlist if you're interested in looking at that, and I will try and tag a photo at the end of this video. So I think that's me at the end of another video. So thanks for stopping by. Please do come back again soon. Take care now. Goodbye.